Dr. David Masanga, and back in the headquarters in Kenya, Nairobi. Good morning, Miriam.
Doc, a very good morning to you and good morning to our viewers.
Across Kenya, we have Samuel Tawish in Naroko. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr. David Masanga. Good morning to Miriam Mugutu at our headquarters. Good morning to Sharon and our viewers who are watching the program in Kenya and the rest of the world.
And in Central or Kiambu district, can I call it Kiambu district? Which one? In Nairobi is none other than Sharon Gitonga. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning to you, Dr. Matsanga. And just for clarity, it is Nairobi County. Yeah, and Miriam back at the headquarters, my co-panelist Samuel Tawish, and to all our viewers watching us in Africa and across the continent. Good morning.
Good morning. For clarity, clarification, is Nairobi County, not Kiambu, not, I don't know what. I haven't known where you live. But thank you very much, viewers across the world. I am Dr. Matanga leading this show this morning together with Miriam Ogoto, our senior anchor, senior news anchor, and our lady at the helm of Punchline Africa TV Nairobi. Today, as you see, it's not a very good day for me because Africa looks like we are going back to 1884. Africa was modeled for conflict. Africa was made to have chaos. Why? Why after 67 years of independence by one of the African countries, we are still haggling over where, who, what, how we can attain territory? What amuses me is the question of Somalia, which has not even, protected the territory they have, but they need more territory. Why is Somalia needing more territory when they cannot protect the territory that they have? Who is putting a pressure on Somalia to have the territory in the Indian Ocean? Are there external forces? What are these external forces? What is the aim, the end? What is the end game of these external forces? What do they want? They want to leave a conflict in Africa. They want to leave Africa with a conflict. We have been looking for conflict in the Indian Ocean. We want to get it now. It is there. There is no beating about the bush anymore. You can go to the moon, come talk to Angel Gabriel. This is something instigated, planned, logistically equipped by external forces that want conflict in Africa. And it is going to be there. It will be there. It's going to be out there. You like it or you don't like it, the conflict will be there. What type of ruling will they make? Are they going to make a ruling that the island remains to God? Kenya already is on the border. Kenya that is its border. It has been there. So when you talk about the border, you have to take it away from the border then. How will you take it away from the border? External intelligence networks that plan wars on Africa. Those listening to me and listening to this tape must know that we are in chaos. The African Union is already grabbed, is gone. Miriam, at about 3 p.m., I'm issuing a statement before we go to the dispatches, the dead African Union. Sorry, may God help me. Sorry, may God help Nkuruma. Sorry, may God help Nyerere. Sorry, may God help Obote, Jomo Kenyatta, Sekuture, Jaboe Nasa, Kamini Kabura, Patrice Lumumba, Benabera, the people who stood, Robert Mugabe, Nelson Mandela, Stephen Bantu Biko, the men who stood for this continent, the men who spoke for this continent, Kwame Nkrumah, Emperor Haile Selassie, Siadi Barre himself. May God help them wherever they are. And I know that there is one voice behind left. I'm still echoing their words. That Africa, we need to sort ourselves first. We need to be part and a parcel of the global movement, not part and a parcel of isolation. We don't need to isolate ourselves. Africa does not need isolation. Isolation does not belong to Africa. Isolation belongs to other countries that are not in Africa. Europe has arranged itself. The last war of territory in Europe was in the Second World War. It is a war of territory and resources. All these wars, the First World War, the Second World War, Miriam and the panel, was because of territory and resources. The last war in Europe was in Yugoslavia, where Yugoslavia was a united, formidable state having its own powers, where Marshal Tito was controlling huge resources in Central Europe. It exploded into a quagmire because of territory. The Serbians, the Albanians, the Montenegros, the Bosnia-Herzegovina, the states within Europe, in the center of Europe, broke to pieces. It brought out the ugly face of poverty, inequality, and the mercenarism that today we see the states in Central Europe becoming hired mercenaries, coming to do wars across the world. In 1989, the collapse of the Soviet Union opened another historical event in Europe, where the Soviet Union collapsed and formed several states. Some of them have become radicalized into a religious wars that we see. Africa was the only island that was left standing. Africa is the only island that was separated by sea from these wars. If you look, the wars were fought elsewhere, very far away from us. But it was called a First World War, Second World War, Miriam. Was this your war? Why, if this was your war, why do you read it in history? When they collected our forefathers and grandfathers to go and fight in the Second World War in the German Tanganyika, in Malawi, in Nyasaland, and in India, when Indians were collected to go and fight in Burma, the Gurkhas in Burma, when people were collected to fight in the Bahamas, collected from the Bahamas, from the Caribbean, to go and fill the gaps. It's because of resources. is not our war. It was a mighty fight for resources that had become inadequate and accumulation in prospecting where the oil, the diamonds, the gold would be. Why would the king of Belgium kill an African leader, airlift the bones of an African leader and go and hide them in a museum in Brussels until 2 years ago, Miriam? Why? Today is a Saturday again for me, that's why I'm lecturing. My opinion is that we have gone back to 1884 when we are scrambling for Africa. The ruling, whatever way it comes, and whichever format it lands, believe me or not, those of us who enjoy the waters of Indian Ocean, we have to go very far because there will be tension and apprehension. If you don't listen to my words, I am Paul preaching to the, not only the Jews, but to the Jews and non-Jews. If you hear my words, if you don't hear my words, I will rub off the dust. Go ye. But because I feel for the Philippians, today Tawishi must be thinking, the man has gone bishop-wise. And the Gitonga, I can see. The Philippians were not aware of the dangers that were coming. The Jews were saying, what does this man know? We're already people, sons of God, where angels came, and our son of Jesus Christ was born in the Jewish state. The maritime border dispute between Somalia and Kenya is a test case for our sovereignty as a continent of Africa. Is a test case for the people of Africa to know what type of mathematics was invented in Greece, which we must use. Is the test case for the history of repeating history to 1884, Bismarck and Karl Peters partitioning Africa. Medium, I have interruptions. Are there interruptions?
No, you're okay.
I can hear so many people. This system is very powerful. It picks. People are talking behind the scenes. Who are those?
It's okay.
Thank you very much, viewers. It is very, very important that as we discuss this matter today, let's be very, very honest and let's be determined as Africans that do we really want wars instead of development? Does Somalia, which has no toilet, would like to fight a country with toilets? Who is pushing this? What went wrong? What would go wrong? What would go wrong today as we speak, Miriam? Let's speak frankly here. The worst thing that would go wrong today is the sense of ownership. Who owns Africa? Who owns Africa? Is Africa for us or Africa is for other people? Who owns Africa? Do we have African Union looking at this ruling coming from the ICJ, which is a court which is obnoxious? I agree with the Kenyan government that indeed the court is obnoxious. The African Union would have put our presentation much earlier than today. But it has never done so because it has been more confused than confusion. If you have the word, an organization that is supposed to lead Africans toward a stable stability without conflict in 2063, and it is making conflicts come on the continent, military coups coming, presidents being assassinated. My panel, tell me where we are. Therefore, Somalia and the Kenya Maritime border dispute brings a new darkness to the region that was bright, a new darkness to the region that was looking forward to a united Africa, a new region of darkness that does not appreciate what Kenya has done for this region. A new Kenya where a new darkness, a new hope is gone. There's no new hope left. There's no, the dawn of any good thing coming is gone today. If whichever way the ruling comes, even if it comes to say, leave the island, the only ruling that I can accept is leave the island and leave Kenyans to stay and the border to remain where it is. Because Kenyans are sitting on the border today. How will you remove them, Miriam, Sharon, and Tawish Olisasana? That's my opinion.
All right, Doc, thank you so much for that. And of course, the International Court of Justice will rule in a bitter border dispute, as Doctor already there has explained, between Somalia and Kenya today, delivering a verdict that will potentially have far-reaching consequences for bilateral ties and energy extraction in the region. The ICJ is to give its final word in a case filed by Mogadishu more than 7 years ago. A full bench of 15 judges led by U.S. Judge Joanne Danaher will hand down the verdict at the Peace Palace in The Hague at 3 p.m. East African time. Kenya has already lashed that the ICJ is biased and announced it does not recognize, and it will not recognize the court's binding jurisdiction. Somalia insists that the joint maritime boundary should follow the orientation of its land border and thus head out in a line towards the southeast. But Kenya says its boundary runs into a straight line east, a delineation that would give it a bigger triangular slice of the sea. And so today, the fate of Kenya's multi-billion shilling maritime economy hangs in a balance as the International Court of Justice rules on the long-standing border dispute between Kenya and Somalia. And as we wait for that, as Doctor has said there, we shall come back at 3 p.m. and then we'll be airing live from The Hague, the live events from the ICJ court. Samuel, I wish.
Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you, Dr. Masanga, and thank you everyone who is watching this program. Indeed, of course, with the panelists who are partaking in this program this afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching us from. Indeed, Miriam, if you've listened carefully to Dr. David Masanga's opening remarks or submission, you will contend and agree that we are not sitting pretty well. I mean, as a country, as a nation, as it is, and looking onto the prospects, even as we wait upon that ruling, which will be given later today, Miriam, I can tell you, I can clearly envisage that there's going to be turbulence in the Indian Ocean waters. There's going to be turmoil, and just like Dr. Masanga has hinted, already the Kenyan troops are on standby, really, to safeguard its territorial boundary.
Okay, we apologize for that. Go ahead.
Okay, so that, just like I was telling you, Miriam, as we speak now, of course, the Kenyan forces are on standby, really waiting for any, of course, for anything or for any intervention in as far as protecting its territorial boundaries is concerned, and more so in the Indian Ocean waters, the conflicted region. Miriam, it is not lost to us that there have been approaches, there have been initiatives, there have been diplomatic, of course, rapprochements to see how we can find a solution to this problem. But all that seems to have been lost already. I mean, now what we are saying is that regardless of what kind of ruling is going to come out of the ICJ today, we are not, of course, foreseeing any kind of peace in the Indian Ocean waters. Because Kenya has already taken a stand, and I do not think they're going to rescind on that stand. I don't think they're going to blink on that particular stance that they have taken in as far as safeguarding its territorial boundary is concerned. I do not see that this will be in the best interest of Somalia, because again, they have squandered every opportunity, every chance that it was at their disposal, really to find an amicable solution with Kenya through local mechanisms, which they decided, of course, to go ahead and head to the ICJ. Miriam, you remember what happened in Kenya after the 2007-2008 post-poll skirmishes. I mean, there was that push to go to ICC, and there was a debate in the floor of the House in the National Assembly, to be particular, because by then, of course, we didn't have a bicameral parliament. That is the Senate and the National Assembly. We only had the National Assembly. I mean, there are people who came out in defense of the push to go to ICC. And I remember that slogan that we should not be vague, let's go to Hague. I mean, but by the end of the day, we began again wading in tears after we realized where is the Hague. Dr. Masanga usually says it. Sometimes we are so naive, we do not even know where this Netherlands is. We do not even know where this Hague is. To a point that the people just procrastinate at the floor of the House or the National Assembly and say, we must head there. But by the end of the day, when the reality sinks, I mean, we begin to regret. And I think that is where Somalia is today. We've had an opportunity here locally. I mean, so many interventions by the African Union to see into it how Kenya and Somalia would have found an amicable solution, a peaceful one, a homebred solution that would have been initiated by the African Union, but it was all squandered. Somalia decided to go the ICJ way. Which way forward then? I think that is the question, because we are waiting for this particular ruling. We can't quite predict how this ruling is going to pan, but all pointers are it's going to rule maybe probably in favor of Somalia. But Kenya has taken a stand already by withdrawing its participation in this court and recognizing even any of its judgments or verdict in respect to these particular cases or even future cases. Miriam, it's a very dicey situation. Kenya itself also finds herself in a very catch-22 situation, because sitting at the UN as a UN Security Council as a non-permanent member, and at a time when ICJ is going to rule this particular matter, and Kenya seems not to be going to abide or to listen to any of its verdict, then I can tell you for sure that it begs for all these parties to come on board and see what is it that they can do to ensure that peace and stability between the two nations is not going to be affected. But as it is, if Somalia decides to go the way they are going, to insist that they want to carve horizontally, if that is the case, the boundary in the Indian Ocean waters, I can assure you, Miriam, that Kenya is ready and aptly ready really to protect its territorial boundary. And I do not foresee, of course, good things happening in the Indian Ocean waters. Let's wait for that ruling to come at 3 p.m. And of course, you'll confirm all our premonitions and, of course, what we foresee of of the dicey situation in the Indian Ocean waters. Miriam, I submit.
Right, thank you so much. And in the past, there has been some cases that have been taken to the ICJ where countries never really complied by the by the judgment that came from the ICJ. While international law does not contain an enforcement mechanism comparable to those of domestic legal systems, however, in the majority of cases, states do comply with the decisions of international courts and tribunals, albeit to varying extents. The instances in which states explicitly defy court decisions are few and far between, and the lack of enforcement mechanisms in the international law does not mean that there are no cost to non-compliance. The few instances in which states openly defy the court or arbitrary tribunals' decisions have mostly involved great powers. But even in those cases, decisions that were initially ignored or eventually complied with to some extent. So there are a couple of cases that have come before the ICJ, and one of them was between Philippines and China arbitration, and another one was between Nicaragua versus the United States, and the other one also was between was between the Russia and the Netherlands, where the Netherlands had gone to complain about Russia at the International Court of Justice, and in August 2015, an annexed 7 arbitral tribunal ordered Russia to compensate the Netherlands, which Russia has so far refused to do so. And we know Russia is a member of the United Nations Security Council, a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. So it has never complied. And even between the cases of the case of Nicaragua and the United States never complied. In fact, matter of fact, let me just read that. In the Nicaragua versus United States case, after the ICJ found that it had jurisdiction to entertain Nicaragua's claims, the United States decided not to participate in the merits phase of the case. The United States further showed its disapproval by terminating the 1955 Treaty on Friendship, Commerce and Navigation between Nicaragua and the United States, and withdrawing its declaration under Article 36, Sub-Article 2 of the United Nations Charter, which together provided the basis for the court's jurisdiction in the case. So United States also withdrew from this court during that time, and it never complied with the rulings of the ICJ. Is this likely to be the approach Kenya might take if this case does not favor it? Non-compliance. Sharon.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and my colleague panelists for your sentiments. And first of all, I would like, to appreciate the presence of Kenya, in the United Nations Security Council. And, even today, we've seen the president is set to, chair the UNSC meeting in New York, whereby they're going to be discussing on having a level open debate on diversity, state building and peace. And, it's not a coincidence that it's set on a day where the ICJ ruling is taking place. And so I cannot really talk much about that, but waiting to see, what transpires within the corridors of justice. But, it's clear so much has been said and done, but I am now, tending to say whatever the outcome that is going to whatever the ruling is going to be said, at the end of the day, we need to sit down for the sake of, symbiotic relationships and have, hold a honest and, holistic conversations. Because if we continue with, these antagonisms, they are going to cost us quite, they are going to really cost us, looking at the, mutual interests between the two countries, Kenya and Somalia. So at the end of the day, we need to have a dialogue, or rather, honest and holistic conversations towards moving forward. But then again, I also have an issue with, the leadership at the leadership of, Somalia, and I believe we also, maybe if we could deal with, Farmajo. I believe this is a madman with, a gun in the marketplace. And I believe, he has a high hand and influence towards the orchestrations that are happening, and him sitting at the helm of leadership and governance, then I think maybe we can call him out, because he also he's really high influencing. Other than that, there's a need of a dialogue between the two countries in the sake of peace and stability. I submit.
All right, thank you. And Doctor, last week, when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement, part of the statement read like this: the speed at which the matter was rushed before the court and the players involved in this dispute pointed to a well-orchestrated strategy of pitting the countries against each other in total disregard of the precarious security situation in the region. And also perhaps you could attempt to answer the question that I'd asked Sharon earlier, owing to the history and the way a lot of these cases have not been complied to with certain countries. Is that the route Kenya is most likely to take if we were to go with what President Uhuru Kenyatta said over 2 weeks ago? It's not planning to give any inch of its land to anybody.
Medium, thank you very much for those questions. But first of all, let me thank Sharon for picking very fast and very, on this matter. Mm-hmm. And the sentiments that you have expressed are very good. Tawish, you have made very good sentiments. Miriam, The question you have asked is the best question. One of the problems that kills African countries, and I'm going to be very bold here, is we wait until it is late. We operate like a United Nations. We come in too late. We do very little. You have seen UN always sits and now and says we need money, we need money, we need money, we need money for Afghanistan, we need money for Iraq, we need money for Syrian refugees. Why do you wait for a war to come before you collect the money? Miriam, we should have done this thing much. And I think, Miriam, you should take this opportunity on this television to give me credit. Because if I don't ask for it, it looks Kenyans will not give me. I want the credit. I am the only man south of Sahara in this Africa who tackled the court. I am the only non-state actor, and I want to be proud of myself. Because some people want to take the credit. No, Mr. President, I will not accept my credit to be taken. I'm the only one who went and filed and won and delivered the documents that there is a problem with the judge. Miriam, have you seen what the judge said? You have seen what the judge in clips. Mm-hmm. The rest of the government of Kenya at that time had left. The Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, that time, Mr. What is his name? Mugai. Yes, they left the matter. We have got to call a spade, and we are not going to call a spade a small spoon. We erred. We rushed. I agree with Professor Macharia, Kamau Macharia of PS Foreign Affairs. Somebody rushed this thing as if he was rushing it for what? What was the interest? Nobody could even come to make an application. Give me a credit. Give me a credit. I can see Koinange lining up there telling rubbish shit. But they cannot even make one application. If you gave Koinange to write an application to that court, he can't write the English. Honestly, you will seek a lawyer. But I wrote in my own English that I went to school to study. Miriam, I wrote an application to expose to the world that, Miriam, one, there is a problem. The court is staffed with the Chief Justice, Chief Presiding Judge is from Somalia, a relative of Farimajo. The father is a clansman and an elder of Farimajo. Two, that the judge Abdalakif is a thief, a corrupt, a rapist who raped a Somali lady in Brussels. In a house near the European Union where the rape took place. I got the videos and handed them to the registrar. The judge said he's terminating his stay in the court. We were going very well until Corona. Corona found us. Miriam, had we started this in 2014, you remember? If people were not selfish, and Miriam, Gitonga, and Tawish, I want to say on this program, people are selfish people like to come at the last minute, give us stories. The people who spoiled this case are Attorney General, former Attorney General, Gifu Mugai. Me, I call a spade a spade. Go and kill me if you want. But I will say the truth. They later on realized when I brought the pressure is when they went to make an application to stop. How can you stop when you went there? Why do you go there? Miriam, why do you go there? You know there is a market that slaughters goats. And you a goat. Can you take your neck there to be slaughtered, surely? Niambie nyenye kabisa jameni. Wala. Niambie. I wish you always slaughter animals there where you are. And you throw spears at their necks. You know, cows even smell where the spear is going to come from. And you see a cow, you push it, it turns away and runs back because there is a spear coming. Yeah? In order to get that blood and ooze it. I'm not saying you ooze it as it is. These days you warm it. Tawish, you know very well that the court will not give you a ruling. Why do you go there? You're a government advisor. Why do you go there? The President of the Republic of Kenya cannot start doing all these things on his own. So it is not Attorney General Kihara. The case went wrong long time ago. We just came in to resuscitate, to keep off. And when I came in, give me a credit today. But because Kenyan television stations and radio stations, they say Matanga is Uhuru Kenyatta. They hate Uhuru Kenyatta. So when I come on the show, anyway, the brains are too sophisticated. So what will you, some of these presenters are useless. What will you ask Matanga? I'm not reading notes. Miriam, look at this head. This big man head, this one here. He did. I don't use notes. Have you ever seen me use notes, my dear sister? We always present with you there. The thing is here. None of these stupid presenters from Karioko can interview me. Even Koinange can't manage me. I'm today saying the truth. What can I do? What will you ask me in Kenyan situation? I teach people and they pass. So if I go to your station and you don't even know the border, what it means by maritime, why do I waste my time? I tell you the truth. Then they labeled me that I'm Uhuru Kenyatta's man. When I come, I'm supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. So what? Is Uhuru Kenyatta not a Kenyan? Even Uhuru Kenyatta's own television station does not even, it has editors who are working for Ruto. They don't want me to be there. Ruto is worried Matanga should not appear anywhere. He's paid Opondo, who is the master mercenary, to pay journalists. This issue now could be discussed by able-minded people. Look at your program, the programs of your television, Miriam, to the whole of today. Look at the people coming in that the expert were. An expert cannot file an application in the ICJ. What fucking expert are you? Where did you study? Which university took you to, you wasted your father's money? Am I wrong? If you are an expert, Miriam, why don't you file an application? Now you are coming to the TV that you are doing an analysis. Hey, I'm a Kenyan expert on this. I'm sitting, doctor, what? What? A doctor who cannot make a needle. At least Matanga can make a needle. At least Matanga can talk and change. I stood up and told the people of Kenya that ICC was a wrong institution. Isn't it true now? You can even add more degree on me, Miriam. Why not? Yes. You can add it. I told you. Because I know the subject. I don't pretend to come on TV and tell people that I know the subject when I don't know. I know the subject very well. I know when it is going to be bad and when it is going to be good. Telling me that Matsanga did not make an application, telling me that Matsanga was not going to arrest, that means Prime Minister Hassan Harie. Hassan Harie picked money from Soma Oil and they used that money to give to terrorists to kill us in Kenya. I have a case. I want him to go to London. I step in London, I will get you. I get you, motherfucker. Today I'm very mad. I want some people to know that we have had enough. That Hassan Harie, the former Prime Minister of Somalia, we want you to pass by London. Aterere. Pass by London. When nyenye mnacheza. Pass there. You picked money from Soma gas oil and made a deal. Came and paid some of the people. The truth, let it come out today. These are the people who caused this problem. Kenya has been lying together with, sitting together with Somalia for a long time. There was an agreement in 2009. We cannot keep quiet here and element and use. This platform is also a platform you might not be seeing now, but you will see later what I'm talking about. I cannot keep quiet. Miriam, I told you today is a Saturday for me. Because I'm Paul teaching Philippines and the Jews to a point that Paul was told, if you see nobody listening to you, Gitonga can look for me that verse. Carry the dust and go. What did Jesus mean in that parable? There you are. The ICC, the same thing. Miriam, give me this opportunity. Let me go back so that you have a lot of material to, when we come at 3 p.m., we shall full blast. Look at this. Article 127 of the United Nations, 127 of ICC. What does it say? It says, if things are not very good in the ICC, Miriam, a country can pack, the marriage is over. Notify the United Nations Secretary General that, hello, the marriage is impossible, we have left. Has Kenya left ICC? You are Kenyans, answer me today. And you people are keeping quiet. This is going to affect you. Tomorrow you are going to blame Uhuru. You blame who? Blame who? Have you left ICC? You are now going to an election. Wewe tuambiane ukweli nyenye. Jamaa wanzu yangu wa Kenya mnasema mko na democracy. Mko naye sawa. Sawa lakini sasa mumetoka ICC, you haven't. Tuambiane ukweli leo. There is that article, Miriam, which says 127, quit. Notify the Secretary General and asema namna hivi, hallelujah, bye, we have been here, the marriage cannot work. Irreconcilable differences. Even a woman who was married to Prince Charles, divorced. Who are you? Who are you? Where the Onyalis today wakuja hapa leo? Na wakuja ni waniambie tuchomane hapa leo. I want to put a challenge in you people. We have fought, some of us have fought battles for you. We have never even got any recognition, not even one award. But we keep on fighting for Kenya because the stability of Kenya is very important. Once Kenya is stable, the whole Africa and East Africa will be stable. Look at it from that point of view, and then you will struggle better for a better Africa. But when we struggle, you also give us the impetus as Kenyans. When we struggle for you, Miriam, help us by initiating programs. Minister, who is supposed to initiate the withdrawal? Parliament of ICC, or of Kenya from ICC. Today, we are finishing this February. Already, the ICC is giving you warning shots. Have you heard that, Miriam? You saw yesterday ICC warning people who are intimidating Gicheru's witnesses. Isn't it being done by Ruto again? Wacha tuambiane ukweli. Isn't it so? The ICC has eyes on the ground. Someone is intimidating Gicheru's witnesses. Maybe some of them are going to be thrown in the rivers and they die. Again, we are in a mess. Why didn't we leave before? Miriam, don't you see what I'm talking about, my sister, today? Why are we in this mess? I went to the court to remove the work envelope. I was denied by the Attorney General, who was Gifu Mugai, who sent an application and said they don't want that work envelope to be shown to the people. Can you believe that? Have you heard what I've said? Tawish, were you not there? Were you not in court when the judge?
I was there, Dr. I was there.
And the case, when the judge asked how the Attorney General stood up and said, yeah, honestly. And my friend, I want to thank my friend, Justice Lenora Isaac. He did a great job for me. He said, Matsanga, you remember what he said? You have wasted a lot of your own money. In court, you remember?
Yes, yes.
He said you have put a lot of money, you travel, you pay your tickets for the country. Then the Attorney General, who was Gifu Mugai, stood up and said, we oppose the application. Can you hear that? Now, tomorrow, the ICC is going, you are now preparing so-called election. So-called. Have you seen how bad it is? So-called. How bad it is. Let me laugh again. I told you. Is that an election? Miriam, you have been here talking today. Have you seen how many people are registering? Have you seen how many people have registered? Can you call that an election? Isn't it the signs when you see the signs in the sky? Wallahi ya Mungu, what do? God told you that unaangalia unajua mtoto ya Mungu anarudi. Isn't it so? Sharon, mtoto wa Mungu anarudi. Kama unaona mawingu, are they called mawingu? I'm learning Swahili. Also help me and Miriam, give me Swahili yako mzuri sana.
Mawingu yanatanda.
Yeah. Unaziona ziko hapo juu, unajua roho mkata is what something anarudi, mtoto anarudi. Don't you see the signs of a bad election in Kenya? Will you have an election in this country, Shwari? Will you not end up in the court which you refuse to quit? Under Article 127. There you are. Tawish, and Miriam, you can chip in. I've said my mind today. I'm sorry for the language because, Miriam, let me tell you, at times pain. Ma'am, even you at your own home, if you wake up every morning, you find a dustbin, the same, your house girl has left the same dustbin in the same place and put the same things in the same place. You will act like Jesus acted to Herod. Herod, you remember what Jesus told Herod? He rebuked him in a very angry manner. So I use that language in an angry manner. I'm annoyed. Some of these things could have been stopped a long time ago. We could have withdrawn from this court very long time ago. But everybody in this country knows it. Everybody knows. Kila mtu anajua. Mtu anakaa huko anakuzungumiza jina yako. Unaona mimi, look, the people like Koinange, they have worn badges. They are outside the court. Ask Koinange when the court was formed. He doesn't know. The date, he doesn't know. When was the court formed? What type of journalism is that? Stupid. So only the voice, but not the intellect. Hakuna. Up here, zero. Today, tuambiane ukweli. Look at the type of programs your people bring on TV. What type of programs are those? The only station that is talking about Africa is Miriam. Miriam and myself and Tawish. Miriam, we have been talking about Africa for a long time. We have been talking about Biafra. People are asking us that we don't talk about Biafra. We are the first people before the Biafra television came into existence. It is Matanga television that was talking about Biafra and Nigeria. So any Nigerian, any Biafran talking shit on my television, you are stupid. You will be stupid because I've never asked you for money. And when I went back to find the story of Mr. Namdi Khan, I'm very upset with Biafrans. How could they? Why did the man? Why did he hide from? Did he not know that some of us are even? We have been in this game of rebels for a long time. Myself, I've been a rebel. I've never been happy with what happens in my country, and I tell the truth. So I've been careful. Why did he come to Kenya for? To do what? When I'm in Kenya, I don't discuss anything that concerns. Miriam knows she's there. I don't discuss anything that concerns the government in Kampala. I'm not part of it. Have you seen me going to Busia, sitting at the Busia border? No. I don't know when I last went to Busia. It must have been 27 years ago. I've never been to Busia border or Malaba border, 37 years ago. Because I observe international norms. Why did you come to Kenya to do what? Namdi Khan creates us a problem of our television station. Why did you call us for an interview? We didn't call you. We have been fighting without knowing who the Biafrans are. We have never asked for a penny from them. And we ended up to be demonized. Why do you come to a place where you are not wanted? Why? Why don't you report to the place? If you hold a passport, report to the place where that passport belongs. Report and say, I'm here in case I have a problem. What type of leader? Are you going to lead the people that way when you don't know even simple protocols? You're a British national. Go and tell the British system up in the hill, down somewhere in the upper hill. Tell them I am here and I'm a political asylum man. In case I have a problem and they have taken me at night, I'm here. Why didn't he do that? Miriam, you see, I'm telling you the truth. So that it becomes, you do it against the will of those guys, they will come and demand and they will put them back on you. It is very, very, very disturbing. In a nutshell, this day is not going to be a good day. Whatever the ruling and the judgment which they are going to read out, it will not please the people in the region. Miriam, because Kenya is sitting on, have you heard this? You are, Miriam and Tawish and Sharon, you are on the territory. Didn't you know one thing that is there? You are in the territory. You are on the Indian Ocean. In fact, those oil blocks are yours. So let someone come and remove you. Yeah, jaribu, enda huko. Kenya did not complain there was a problem with the border. It is Somalia that complained. So, if you need the ruling, it goes to Somalia. Where jaribu kuja. Kuja tu. Kuja. Yes, fucking people without toilet. Kuja. Tunawasaidia every day. You give them food. You give them schools. You give them women. You give them everything. Then they come to us. In Uganda, they have taken out everything of ours, all the businesses are there like this. We have helped them. In London, I helped them. Even they did English. They kill off. How will you go and remove Kenya Army and the Marines from those blocks? Miriam, there is something very strange about Turkey. Once you begin working with Turkey, you lose focus. Look at the man called Ruto who used to wear very good suits. He's now wearing Turkish suits made under shoes from Turkey. Have you seen Ruto does not wear Marks and Spencer anymore? He's busy breaking people's homes. You know, I had promised that we start Social Africa today. But I will return. When I return, we shall start Social Africa on Thursday. Sharon, you and I and Tawish and Miriam, there are certain things we need to talk about. That's the politics break a home. That's the Social Africa. It's a very topic for people to engage. A man, a woman, a Maasai man is crying now. He's lost his home. So the guy is doing two ping pong. So there's something wrong with Turkey. Turkey is the one that forced this case to go into the Hague. Turkey and Qatar. Now Turkey is moving its fleet, its Gulf fleet, from the Gulf to Mediterranean Red Sea. It comes down here. Not Red Sea, sorry. So what is it coming? It is coming to help Somalia. So, in my opinion, some of the problems are self-inflicted, Miriam. Should have started this journey. The former Attorney General, Gifu Mugai, you can praise him. There's a name that he did, a word he said. What is it called?
Mortician.
Mortician. Is a mortician of wrong mortishing. Call it that way. He doesn't know how to mortish. He allowed this case to go in because he wanted allowances. Per diem. had they, and listen here, Miriam, it is a matter of picking a phone and asking all of you, if you're a senior lawyer, a senior counsel, you're a teacher, you studied law, but you might not be knowing international law and the tactics. Pick a phone and ask Matsanga, you an activist, what happens if I go this way? I might give you advice that can help you. They contacted PLO Lumumba, my friend, and later on, after he had given them advice, they saw the way ya kukula. Umesikia hiyo kitu? How they can use his advice to kula. They never called PLO again. He's in Addis Ababa. When I talked to him last evening, he said he doesn't want to hear that word, please. He suffered. Nobody called him again. After he had explained everything on how we can go about it, stop this matter going further, nobody wanted. So here we are now. In short, in full, I support the government of Kenya for their decision to quit the court, Miriam. And I think I also support them. They should move faster and break any trade links, anything. You know, like was it in Nicaragua or where
the case between United States and Nicaragua?
Nicaragua, yes. The Sandinista. You remember the Sandinista rebels? Ortega. Those are my boys. I like them. Ortega, Castro. The one of Colombia, the late one. Those are good boys in Latin America, one.
Che.
Ortega family. Not Che Guevara, but there's another one who died. The late president who died of cancer of Colombia. No, not Colombia, of
Cuba.
Venezuela.
Oh.
Chavez.
Hugo.
Yes.
The daughter ran for elections this year, but she did not win. But there's something else, Doc, before we wind up. I know we're almost coming there. That is also at stake. Should this judgment lean towards Somalia. Now we know that in June, President Uhuru Kenyatta unveiled the Kenya Marine Fisheries Social Economic Development Project worth about 10 billion Kenya shillings. Now the Kenya Marine Fisheries and Social Economic Development Project, a fish processing plant in Lamu, and the Coastal Fisheries Infrastructure Development Plan will be affected by this judgment. The aquaculture technology development and the innovation transfers and development of blue economy initiatives will also be in jeopardy. 6 months ago, the European Union injected 3.2 billion Kenya shillings to the Kenya's blue economy to benefit counties of Kilifi, Kwale, Mombasa, Tana River, Lamu, and Taita Taveta. And they have a population of over 5 million people, with fishing being their main source of livelihood. Should the judgment be in favor of Somalia, the coastal region may lose its traditional fishing grounds. And we've seen how much the government has injected. Just in June, the government, unveiled a 10 billion Kenya shillings Kenya Marine Fisheries Social Economic Development Project in that part of the country. And should this judgment favor Somalia, then that will be in jeopardy because Kenya's fishing grounds will be greatly affected. So it's a lot at stake for us as a country.
It is. But who tells you, who will come and stop us from fishing? Jaribu. Yes, Jaribu. Jaribu. You try. You know, time has come for people to say, try and we see. Who will stop Kenya from fishing? Kenya is on the border. It doesn't matter anymore. You can talk up to Angel Gabriel. Kenya did not go to court. Kenya is still on the border and controlling the water. So you come and take Kenya away. How will you take Kenya away? So it will, one way or the other, you are right. People will be scared to fish further. Miriam, you are very right. It will affect the development of that industry. But then the same British, the same European Union, Norway is a member of the European Union. It's the same organization that pumped money in Somalia and Soma oil to go and find out more about that oil in the Indian Ocean. So don't you see we have a big problem then? So to answer your question straight, it will affect. It is going to affect. And of course, we know Kenya did not put any presentation. So the ruling is coming from the presentation and the facts that were laid across by. If the ruling comes and say Somalia did not verify properly, did not tell us information, I would have won again, because I struggled with the judges and exposed that the new American judge now found out that they were loopholes. So whichever way the ruling comes, it will affect the fishing industry, the development in Lamu and Malindi and other areas, that the whole border, that under the, there is one menace that we had stopped, which is piracy. We are now inviting piracy at the sea, that the retro piracy will come because people, Tawish, will start coming in and still take the ships. It is a very bad ruling, and it comes on a day that I'm not happy. In short, that is my submission. Miriam, if there is anybody else who wants to talk, either can close and talk at 3 p.m. or can say a quick comment. Sharon, or parting shot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matsanga, for your sentiments. And they say when you find yourself in a hole, you stop digging, because when you continue digging it, you make it deeper, and therefore it becomes harder to get out of it. So it's quite unfortunate that, we found ourselves in the same, and we were not able to quit as per your allurement. And now we are setting up ourselves, for failure. These are in turn going to cause really a great chaos and turmoil regardless of the ruling. But Miriam talked about the issue of Kenya Maritime fisheries in Lamu, and I believe this project has really changed the image and the perspective of Lamu, having been known for being a hub of terrorism, and with the ruling, it's really going to affect the common fisherman who relies on that as a cost of living. And what people are going to, they might turn up. If this is affected, they might turn up, to gang up against the same. So I still, insist at the end of the day, we need to have a conversation, a holistic conversation, in to see how we are going to move this way forward. Because regardless of the ruling that is given, it's not going to sit any good in either Kenya or Somalia. I submit.
Tawish?
Yes, Miriam. I think Dr. Masanga has quite outlined how we have found ourselves where we are today, and I think it's quite a very big embarrassment. Even in as much as Kenya has decided to take the position that it has taken, this is something that they should have done a long time ago. In fact, Dr. Masanga has outlined to us that the former Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya did not do the justice that the people of Kenya should have otherwise wanted from him, being the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya and being the chief advisor to government. Because again, whatever kind of verdict that is going to come out today, Miriam, I can quite tell you that one, it is a very big embarrassment that we found ourselves where we are today. only for us now to think of the best thing to do at a time when things appear to be, it appears to be very, very late. But nothing is lost. Nothing is lost, Miriam, as we speak today, because Kenya has taken that position that it has taken to safeguard its territorial boundaries. And I think it's very important. No any other nation really would want to just let go of its territorial boundary. And I think that is the position that Kenya has taken. As the people of Kenya, we only but have to wait. We have to call upon the people of Kenya to remain patient and wait upon the verdict that is going to be given out and the intervention that Kenya has is making as far as making sure that these waters are going to remain in Kenya for the benefit of the people of Kenya. I do not think that they are doing this for any selfish purposes or for maybe advancing any kind of war between Kenya and Somalia, but it's basically driven by the fact that these waters or this section of the waters really belong to Kenya, and there's nothing that can be done really to compromise that position. It is important, therefore, that in as much as this verdict is going to come out, we want to see what will be the best way forward in approaching and then finding a solution to this problem. Do we need to get further diplomatic engagements between Kenya and Somalia? Do we need to have more, say, for example, more lobbying, even in the international bodies like the UN? Because by the end of the day, like I've insisted, Miriam, we must find a solution to this problem. And fighting between Somalia and Kenya may not offer that solution, as I understand. I submit, Miriam.
Right. Thank you, Samuel Tavish, Sharon Gitonga, and of course, Dr. Edwin Matanga. This has been my opinion. And of course, we shall be back here at 3 p.m. when that ruling is expected to start at the International Court of Justice. So we shall bring you the latest at that time. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.